Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Friday, August 27th, 8:41 a.m. here in the Arizona desert, broadcasting from a jab-free green zone. All right, dailyview.com. Well, bitcoindailyview.com. I linked to most of the stories I'll mention. Always got more for you there. Some articles out recently, USDC backed by cash, U.S. Treasuries. Another article about USDC. Coinbase president says USDC reserves will now be held in cash and short-term treasuries. So it looks like they're going for futures. The way they're backing Circle Coin or USDC, and the way it's being backed, like it says here, quick update on USDC starting September 2021. USDC reserves will be held in cash and short duration U.S. government treasuries. Anyway, some people like this, some people don't. I just look at it like, Circle is, or you say USDC, it is the stable coin backed by the big dogs, and I like the stability that this offers, because basically, Tether's a pain in the ass because there's just endless FUD about it. Don't think it deserves it all. I just find there's a lot of like children in the market who just don't understand how the world works, and they get all upset about ridiculous shit. And USDC, I think, is kind of the answer to a lot of the stablecoin woes out there. So anyway, regardless if it's backed by hard assets or futures or whatever, it's the big boy coin. So put on your big boy undies or big girl panties and use it. This is a good thing. All right, Cuba to recognize and regulate crypto on the island. Cool. I can dig that. It just makes me wonder if that will cause our administration and regulators to all the more label crypto as only used by terrorists. All right, this is an interesting tweet that I saw this morning. Phil over at Trade Genius, he's the one who mentioned this tweet. And basically, it's an article on MarketWatch. Apple will change its App Store practices and legal sentiment. Anyway, settlement. I looked at this. I was reading the comments here in the on the tweet, and I think this one kind of sums it up here. He was saying that they're allowing developers to advertise that there are other payment methods within their apps. They're not letting developers implement other payment methods. And looking at this article and such, and a lot of the commentary, I don't even know what it means, but it seems that it is making some news, so I'll mention it. Anyway, there is some evolution in via the Apple Pay and crypto, whatever. It's happening. Good. I'll just call it a good thing. Morgan Stanley owns over 1 million Grayscale Bitcoin shares. Just saw this recently. Right on. That's a lot of GBDC. Wow. I linked this over at bitcoindailyview.com. Bob Kudla was on the X22 report. I don't endorse the X22 report. I'm not for it or against it, so I'm not really pushing the X22 report whatsoever. You may like his stuff, you may not like it, irrelevant. I'm just posting this because he did an excellent interview with Bob Kudla, and powerful. So I linked to it over there at bitcoindailyview.com. Definitely check it out. It is damn essential. All right, September 7th, Shut Down America protest. This is the Conservative Twins, two great guys. I hope you follow this podcast. They're hilarious, and this is a very, very powerful interview they did. And it's about a movement that recently got started. It started over, its foundations over there in Vegas, and it's about people calling in sick, mental health day, whatever, September 7th, to protest the lockdown bullshit that we're going through right now. All right, Sailor's MicroStrategy buys another 177 million of Bitcoin just recently. While we've been having a little bit of a dumpiness, what's Michael Saylor's company been doing? Buying the dip. This is a great YouTube. I linked it over at bitcoindailyview.com. If you're prepper minded or sovereign minded or whatever, the Magic Prepper is a great YouTube to follow. It's just absolutely powerful information to keep current with global events and how they affect us, and national events and how they affect us, built around the prepper, but also just sovereign mindset. Anyway, get your optics before the shortage hits. This is a very, very, very good video. And he's talking about how supply shortages and such like that are affecting optics. I mean, red dots and such are a little bit of electronics, and extremely expensive little red LED lights and such like that. And we might see a shortage, and he makes a case for this, and he explains it very, very well. Something to think about. Once again, those things that you have in your shopping cart that you might want to buy, or those things that maybe I might want this, maybe I might not. Just realize that we might be seeing supply chain shortages, and if it's something that you want, maybe you should get it. So if you've been wanting that new Vortex Optics red dot, well, you know what? If nothing else, it will keep its value. And if there's something of that you want and it keeps its value and it has electronics in it, or even like expensive glass like optics do, remember supply line shortages. All you need is one part to be available, and the supply chain stops to manufacture something. So good YouTube. Gives you a lot to think about. Majority of U.S. physicians decline COVID shots, according to survey. Imagine that. Why would you think people who are seeing firsthand this tragic uh, thing going on might not want it? Yeah, I just think that people should take note of this. The people who are upfront, who see the results of what's going on, they're saying, "I'm not interested." Think about that. Anyway. Copper prices slipped below scrap for the first time since 2020. Myself, I think this is cool. I'm going to go stack some copper coins because a gas car doesn't take much copper. An electric car, a Tesla, etc., takes a lot of copper. So I'm not sure why it's dipping right now, but it is. And if you ask me, buy this dip. Copper. It gets overlooked because it's so cheap, but still, it's all about the gains you make. And anyway, if you're a stacker of coins, something I was interested in is if there was actually a copper-based a copper-backed crypto. That would be kind of cool. Anyway, you can always go to your traditional like Ameritrade or something like that and buy some futures, whatever. But and I'll link to some of those in future videos. Ways to get on copper if it interests you. But anyway, copper is taking a big dip. That's kind of interesting. It is an asset. I mean, it is a metal. It is a commodity. Something to think about. Jen Psaki says Blackwater founder Eric Prince is soulless for charging $6,500 to get your ass out of Kabul. I don't think he's heartless. It costs money to rescue people, and the government ain't getting people out. Anyway, I think this was a great article, and it's very timely for our times. Mercenaries are as old as, probably older than actual formal militaries that reflect a nation state, or a feudal lord. Mercenaries have always been here. A lot of people don't like Eric Prince, but I kind of do because, hey, look, and it's one of the reasons why I mentioned this article is I think it is a great case for crypto, because if you can get your ass out of Kabul right now, and you can get a hold of Blackwater. Hey, you don't want anybody hindering that transaction. So if you got to pay that $6,500, I'm going to be like, hey, do you take crypto? I don't want anything getting in the way of that transaction. All right, looking at the Bitcoin squares this morning, or the crypto market squares over here at Coin360, we've turned into a green market just recently. Pretty powerful thing. So anybody who's not catching up is XRP is a little bit in the red today. Bitcoin back above 48,000. Ethereum above 3,200. That is wonderful. So crypto universe is looking pretty good. Alts are catching up or getting crushed. So let's take a closer look at that. Looking at spot trading volume on Binance, it's 25 billion, 25.7 billion. Really want to see 30 billion in spot for a good day. Or 25 billion, not bad. And we're actually down 8.6% last 24 hours. So really, we're not seeing tremendous spot trading volume on Binance, even though Bitcoin's making a move. I like to see above 70 billion in volume for futures, and we are seeing 73 billion. Not bad, but we're still down 8% over the last 24 hours. So not the greatest volume, and I'd say okay volume for futures, but not that great a volume for spot. Let's look at Bitcoin trading volume explicitly. 3.5 billion last 24 hours. That is basically zero volume. It takes 3 billion to keep the market, to keep basically the blockchain running. That is Bitcoin. Just looking at wash trading, etc. Just general, just transactions that need to happen so that the Bitcoin universe is happening, is working. So anyway, just to keep those master nodes running and just to keep like the network alive, in my opinion, you're going to see 3 billion in volume any given day. That's just if everyone does nothing, you're pretty much going to see that. So we're really only 461 million in volume last 24 hours above basically the network being on. So anyway, 3 billion is my baseline for, if you get below 3 billion, you're definitely going to have a negative day in the market. And the closer you are to 3 billion, the more volatile things get. If we hang out too close to 3 billion in volume for a day or two, definitely expect to see further dumps. But with that said, 2 billion on Binance, Coinbase 564 million, not bad. Anybody else kind of show up for work today? Uh, nope, we're good to go. So looking at longs versus shorts on Binance, where all that volume is, 59% long, 40% shorts. That is a slight long bias for Ethereum, 63% long, 36% shorts. Definitely have a long bias for Ethereum. Looking at the daily chart for Bitcoin, the MACD is still going the wrong way. Okay, the MACD has definitely crossed negative a while back, and that histogram continues to go the wrong way. So the MACD is not on the daily favor for Bitcoin, although it does appear that we are making a bounce off the 200 moving average on the daily. If we can stay above that, we are good to go. That kind of the 200 moving average is kind of matching the 236 fib line on the daily as I've drawn the fib here. So in general, we have broken below an upwards channel we had on the daily, but it does appear that we're making a 200 moving average bounce. That's the white moving average right here. So as long as we can stay above that, and build some volume there and hopefully continue upwards, we're good to go. I'm really not biased whether we pump or dump. It just does truly look like we're finding support in the 200 moving average on the daily, and that is a really, really good thing. And I do believe on the weekly, the 20 simple moving average on the weekly, we're actually just now finding support in that also. That's kind of an important one. So anyway, Bitcoin does appear to have definitely taken a bit of a retrace, but it does appear also that we are looking good as far as a bounce. Seems like we're in bounce season right now. Here is looking at a 4-hour chart here. This is that same upwards channel that we were looking at here on the daily. Okay, so basically we have this beautiful upwards channel on the 4-hour chart. As you can see, we kind of bounced off the heartbeat and we came down and broke out of that upwards channel. But now, as you can see, we've actually bounced back in. And where we actually bounced at was basically previous support and resistance. So we bounced at a logical spot. As I drew this fib line here, we never even made it down to the 236. If we do look at the BPVR, we are, it's not telling us a whole lot. So forget the BPVR right now. Anyway, this bit of a gray spot here is this same upwards channel, and if we look here, we on the 45-minute chart, here's that support and resistance area that we had. We kind of hung out with that for a while. That's previous support and resistance. As you can see here, previous support and resistance in the 4-hour chart. This is the same location, previous support and resistance. We hung out there for a while, and this is that upwards channel, and we've broken back into the upwards channel. On the 45-minute chart, we still have yet to get above the 200 moving average, but when we do, I think we'll be good to go. I'm glad to be back in that channel. It's looking pretty good. Let's see how the day progresses. Directional index is finally green for a change. ADX will come around and start turning towards the positive if we continue moving up and going sideways. KRI is in the green. Stochastic RSI is definitely at the top here and starting to cool off a little bit. And that's reflected in the price action. We can see right there by that red candle. Lazy bear oscillator is still going up, but it's looking like we've pumped up as far as we're going to. So let's see if we can stay sideways, if we can stay in this upwards channel that is represented here in the 4-hour chart. If we can stay in there, we're going to be good to go. Here's that same upwards channel on the 45-minute chart. I'm really watching for a 200 moving average cross today. If we can cross above that on the 45-minute chart and stay there, along with stay in this channel, I think that's going to be a wonderful thing. So what I'm definitely watching for is the tangent, as it's called here, on the MACD. If we can just get this guy tilting towards the positive, once we start seeing that a close towards a positive cross in daily MACD, I think we're definitely going to see some price moving, some good price action. So far it's looking good. We cooled off definitely, but we're recovering. Ethereum versus USDT, I like what I'm seeing here because unlike Bitcoin, we're on the 45-minute chart, we're struggling to get above the 200 moving average. Ethereum rocked right through it. Directional index is in the green. The ADX will start trending up. The squeeze indicator definitely firing off here. We've got positive, powerful upwards momentum here. KRI is in the green. Stochastic RSI and lazy bear indicator are showing probably that it's time to cool off, and that is reflected here by this indecisive little red doji right there. But Ethereum did break between the 314. It did actually broke above the 314, the 200 moving average within 2 candles, getting it a green diamond merit badge. Wonderful. So, and there's in the Super Guppy or Madrid ribbons indicators, EMAs. Yeah, I should call them the Madrid EMAs or Super Guppy EMAs. I'll link to those, the Madrid ribbons, over at BitcoinDailyView.com. You can find it there. This is a very good indicator on TradingView, and we have flipped all green. So Ethereum is actually recovering faster than Bitcoin, which is good, which means that some alts are going to start to definitely rocket right now. Looking at Ethereum versus BTC, what a great trade. It actually is looking wonderful. The indicators are nice and strong. It's basically looking like Ethereum versus USDT, but against Bitcoin. This is wonderful. I love to get a nice trade in, trading Ethereum against Bitcoin, and I did recently, right about here when it started to turn up, and boom, so I'm in the green now. I like it. It's one of my dream trades. I love a nice long swing trade, Ethereum versus BTC, and it's doing really, really well. So Ethereum looks like it's recovering quicker than BTC. Good thing to see. All right, let's just mention Solera, Sol versus USDT. This is over on Coinbase. It broke positive before Bitcoin started pumping, and it's continuing its way up. So Sol is a pretty active coin. Let's look at Matic versus USDT. Let's just look at a couple coins here on the 45-minute chart. Matic is it's turned green on the Madrid ribbons. Indicators are in general pretty good. It's having a hard time getting over the 314 moving average, but if it does, it'll probably range between the 314 and the 200, and eventually break above the 200. Let's look at Doge USDT. Everybody loves it. Doge versus USDT. Nah, doesn't have it's gaining with Bitcoin on the way up, but it's well below the 200 moving average right now. So it's just not really part of the winning team today. How about SHIB? Same place exactly. How about ADA versus USDT? How's that looking? ADA versus USDT, it never got below the 314 moving average on this recent retracement of Bitcoin. It broke above the 200 moving average with Bitcoin today, basically, well, along with Ethereum today, and it's rocking. So ADA versus USDT is looking damn strong, recovering really, really fast. How about ADA versus BTC? Who would like to be in that trade? Bam! ADA versus BTC. Sweet trade today. Got above that 200 moving average and it's moving up. But as you can see, it's cooling off right now. And I think a lot of the market's cooling off basically because Bitcoin's decided to cool off a little bit. We've had a great run this morning. Let's see if Bitcoin can get above the 200 moving average today on the 45-minute chart and stay in this upwards channel. And if it does, then we're looking wonderful. The visual range volume indicator is showing that we have actually broken above some volume, bicycle volume that we had in the previously. Anyway, doesn't mean much right now. So I won't belabor the BPVR right now. Anyway, BitcoinDailyView.com, always more for you there. I'm gonna get back to doing these things every day, and I've just been busy. So with that said, remember, for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, a piece of shit banker cries. Take care.